All right, guys, welcome to Chibino Podcast. You got me, David the Smash Fan,
Smaj, your tech guy.
and we just saw the trailer, the final trailer for Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. And I think it's about 2 minutes, 30 seconds, and there's lots to talk about. And I'm gonna have Miles start this because he's the biggest Star Wars fan. And so let's start off with you. Like, what's your first initial reaction to the trailer?
I guess the opening scene is kind of something that is one of my biggest complaints is Rey having no training. So it was really cool to see like training. You saw like the helmet fall down, and you see her like reflected laser. I mean, it was her lightsaber, and she's just going through the woods. It looks really beautiful scenery. Then you kind of see her like jump into this wreckage and everything. So that really caught my interest. It's just great to see Rey actually train. So I really like that. And then you see the huge world, like the big forest world, and it's just beautiful landscape. I think it looks gorgeous, very gorgeous shots.
And now the whole question I'm wondering is like, what is she? Is she just are the little drones things like following her as she's running, or is she running to something?
It looked to me like she's just training, because we also have the initial trailer we had previous where you see her like throwing the lightsaber and retracting it back, and she kind of had like that,
right?
The thing covering her arm or whatever for whatever damage she got probably during training. So it kind of reminded me like maybe it's just an extension of that scene. Just more training. I don't know. That's what I'm interpreting though. What about you?
Yeah, it could be that. I was also thinking because at one point she also has her lightsaber out. Maybe she's running towards something, not necessarily a threat, but something. I was thinking maybe Leia at one point. I don't know.
Well, I guess try and remember too, because that's a good idea actually. Because I mean, trailers are deceitful, and but when you think of like in The Last Jedi when she's running, because of the caretakers, she thinks their like village is getting like destroyed, and then she just goes running and ignites a lightsaber in that deleted scene kind of extension where she's just running over the water. So I don't know, maybe Rey just has a bad habit of initiating the lightsaber preemptive. I don't know.
It could be. Yeah, we don't have enough context in it. And again, like you said, they could be just trying to have us think one way, but it's actually something completely different.
Yeah.
Then kind of one thing we transition to is you see Lando.
Yeah.
And he's talking to a huge group of like pilots or the Resistance.
It's probably the extra people they got from like the what am I forgetting the damn name of it? Where were they going to get the? Oh my God, I have a tongue twister here. The region, the unknown region. God, sorry about that, guys. I wonder if this is the extra ones that they were trying to call upon in The Last Jedi when they couldn't get a hold of anybody and they're silenced. I wonder if this is like just the rest of the Resistance they could gather up from the unknown regions or something, maybe.
It could be. I mean, we only know that we know there's a time skip, so it just could be after the few. Is it a few years, right? That's passed.
No, it's only like a year.
When the year they might have been able to get some people, and that's all they have.
Yeah, good point.
You also see Rose there for just a brief second.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it kind of looks like she's not going to be a main part as she was in The Last Jedi. It looks like she'll probably be fighting or should be working on one of the ships, but it feels like they've focused the attention to just the three that the story's supposed to be about throughout the entire movies, which is Poe, Finn, and Rey.
Yeah, which I'm happy about. I mean, no disrespect to her as an actress. She seems like a lovely lady. I didn't really like Rose's character. She's kind of boring for me. I think you kind of weren't the biggest fan of her character either, right?
Yeah, not too much. It was the structure of why they made her important, which kind of was kind of eh.
Yeah, so nothing against her. It's just her character is kind of just eh. So to get back to like the original 3, that's kind of what I wanted in 8. So to come back to that in 9, I think it's great, because in 7 when you had like Finn and Rey's like chemistry, and then Finn and Poe's chemistry, it's just really fun. I just felt the interactions between them were great. So just to kind of have them back to center of attention, that's what I'm kind of excited for. I really like the interaction between the main 3. So you're right. It looks like we're getting more of that. So I'm all for that. It sounds like it'll be fun.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. And they transition back to the place where the Death Star has landed, and you see Rey there, and she says something interesting, because she kept saying, or she says that people try to say this about me or that I'm this, but no one knows who I am, what I am. And then you have oh my gosh, my
Kylo.
mind
I know, we're all just kind of tired.
Kylo comes and says, "But I do," and he comes out with his lightsaber turned on. Then he turns it to have a different fighting stance in it. So
that's a great
cool.
scene, by the way, when he comes through the water all wet. At least he had a shirt on this time, thank God. But
and she looks pissed, like she's way mad. Now, here's like where like theories come into what's going on here. What did she learn? Why is she? I mean, she's never been like way happy to see Kylo, but again, in The Last Jedi, she wasn't like way mad at him, at least in the beginning. Like they were just getting to know each other, and now she's like enraged. And so I'm wondering if, and they hit a small little spoiler. There were some, not necessarily leaks, but rumors of a possible storyline that 9 will follow, and this could make some sense as to why she's upset, because she feels like she was deceived by Kylo. I won't go into the spoiler too much, but I don't know why she'd be like way upset at this point. Directly at him. Aside from like,
I think I know where you're going with that, but just if it is a spoiler, I don't want to ruin it for anyone. So we'll
right, and I don't want to say it, but
yeah.
Right, and I don't want to say what those are, but that's the only thing I could think of is that she thinks that he deceived her in some other way, in one way, and she finally realized it.
And I think Kylo does know more about her past. I'll just leave it at that. And he's not telling her because I think he's trying to sway it to her side. And I'm not going to be some supporter of some Reylo crap in this, by the way. I just think there's more of a thing going on with them where she can't really, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I don't want to get into that. But yeah, it just seems like,
fine.
Yeah.
Let's keep going here, because then there's a really cool shot. So you see some of the fighters, them flying, and then you get to see the throne. And Miles, you know more. Is this the Emperor's throne, or what throne is this that we're seeing?
Okay, so it matters what scene you're talking about. So like after you see like the Millennium Falcon, and by the way, cool nod that the Rebels, it shows the ghost in there, which is awesome. When they showed
it's before that though. It's when
the first throne.
It's when the first throne.
That's from Return of the Jedi. That's actually the Emperor's throne right there from Return of the Jedi, which is interesting because in the Force Awakens book that they had, right, that shows like some of the concepts and stuff, the concept art originally showed the Force Awakens down in the water and Rey was swimming down, but in this it's clearly not submerged. So that's very interesting. So it just sounds like J maybe gotten some of the ideas from his original concepts and just changed it up a little bit. But that is definitely from Return of the Jedi. That is definitely the one that landed on the moon of Endor, and it's crashed right there, and that's the actual throne room. And it was interesting because you see her lightsaber lit up and Kylo's not. So again, I think it comes back to what you're talking about, is she's still kind of pissed and furious at him. He's not having his lightsaber guarded. If anything, I think it's going to be more of a... I think Kylo Ren personally is the best written character in the sequel trilogy, and I think that it's going to mostly... I don't think Kylo is trying to fight Rey. I think she's mostly fighting him, and he's trying to tell her to calm down. I don't see him... this is just a theory, but he's not armed in that throne room, and I wonder if he's trying to, like, hold on, just let's talk, let's listen. She's probably, doing a Rey thing, like, coward and blah and stuff, but it's just my thing. I think that there's going to be some talk about what happened in the past with Palpatine and Vader and Luke, and that's kind of what I'm guessing is going on. I think there's some big conversation going on in that scene.
Now, what thing's cool is when you see one of the cruiser ships come out, like, from the ice.
Oh, yeah.
And so what thing's cool is like that it kind of implies that it's been in hiding underground, and so like all of it coming out, it was really cool because that would make more sense. Like when you see in the previous trailers, we see all of those cruiser ships like in the air.
Are you talking about the Super Star Destroyer that comes out of the ground?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not good with the names of the ships.
Well,
so
apparently
excuse me for that.
No, you're fine. From the information we've gathered, apparently a lot of these Super Star Destroyers have the weapon of the Death Star built underneath them. So a lot of them can destroy planets. So that obviously means a lot of these Super Star Destroyers have some type of Kyber crystal system into, blast. So those things are going to be really cool to see how they use those in the large, grand scale war, etc.
Right. And then you see like the fleet of the Resistance coming through, and as this is happening, there's like an overdub of the Emperor staying like the you guys like getting together is what's going to be your downfall. So basically them either coming to attack him, or the fact that the whole sequence from beginning of the Force Awakens of them coming together, he's saying because of that, it's going to be the downfall of the Resistance. So it's interesting. I'm really wondering what the Emperor's going to do, because I mean, we don't know exactly if this is actually him or not, but you see that part near the end, and you see like his hood, and you see like this. He's on like a mechanical walker thingy walking towards Rey.
I don't remember seeing that.
It's near the end.
No, I know. I don't remember seeing like a walker as a mechanical thing. What did I miss something? Oh, you're right. I'm just going back to it. Whoa, you're right. It's like some kind of. I didn't even notice that. You're right. It's like mechanical thing he's like hooked into, and it's moving. Yeah, I didn't notice that. Awesome. Good find, dude. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, that thing is freaky deaky.
That's weird.
And I think what they really did well with this trailer is just the overdubbing of different characters. Like I said, the Emperor. Then you have Luke, who's talking like he's like facing fear is like the job of a Jedi, and saying like that's your destiny. That's what Rey needs to do. And like near the end when he says like the Force will be with you, and then you hear Leia say always. I was like, oh.
That's interesting, dude. It's gonna be interesting to see how they bring him back. Like, I don't know. I really hope they go to like the Dark Empire days, from Legends. That's gonna be really cool if they do something like that. But we'll see. It's just I don't know, man. It's gonna be really cool to see how they do this. I don't know, and it's also weird too when she's seeing him. She's all alone too. And here's the thing. I think that scene where you see Rey and she's kind of crying and has her lightsaber ignited and it's kind of dark and stuff, I wonder if Palpatine gives her a certain information.
It could be. I also could see that this scene is altered, because remember in Civil War, like they digitally took out Spider-Man and so you didn't know that he was in it until they officially revealed him. So,
oh yeah.
There could be that Rey does have the Force ghost of Luke. I don't know about Leia, because she's not gonna pass away in the movies from what I understood. But at least Luke could be there.
I don't know. I wonder if she might, dude.
Maybe. I thought you heard that they weren't going to kill her off.
Originally they were thinking of not, but I think that was mostly just for The Last Jedi. I don't know about The Rise of Skywalker. I mean, there's rumors and stuff that possibly she might die because of the sickness from her floating into space and surviving, which it's sad, but I'm kind of all for that, because regardless of the Force, I just felt that is kind of a little weird. So that could be a way they could write her off, and maybe she could be like, Luke could come to her and give her the Force Ghost training, kind of like with Anakin before he died real quick. Maybe she could show up with like all the Skywalkers, like Anakin and Luke and Leia. That'd be really cool. But I don't know. That's just thoughts. I don't really know for sure what they're gonna do. But go ahead.
I would say right now I'm just picturing in Harry Potter, how when he has the Philosopher's Stone, and he's like, I'm ready to die, he sees all of his family there. Like, I could see them pulling something like that.
I could see that. I'm really hoping that Hayden Christensen appears for a role as Anakin in this in some type of way. Do you think they might do it?
I think it'd be a disservice if they didn't. Just if the Emperor is truly back. Because I think a lot of people made videos on like Stupenda's Wave and Star Wars Theory that if Anakin's not in this movie but Palpatine is, then it kind of makes his sacrifice meaningless. Just takes away like what he did. And so if Anakin's not there in some sort of capacity, then it's just gonna cheapen what Anakin did at the end.
Yeah, I agree. I think if they don't show him, I'd actually, personally as a fan, I'd actually be pretty effing pissed, to be honest.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Would you want to see Anakin?
Yeah, I would love to see Anakin one more time.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting how they piece all this together. There's a scene in there I wanted to bring up too, the C-3PO thing.
Yeah.
Where it looks like he's saying goodbye. There's some spoilers that we've seen that kind of seems to relate to that. I'm not going to get to spoilers. Everybody that's listening just kind of look them up themselves if they're interested. But if the spoilers are right, it's kind of sad, but it's... I don't know, it is what it is, I guess. But 3PO being kind of the last with, Luke's gone, Anakin's gone, the creator and everything. It's just, it's going to be emotional for sure. It's to see how they do this.
It was, and a lot of people have been talking about it, what he's going to do, because he's being attached to something.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly what. But what's funny is like Poe, the way that they have it at least edited, it looks like Poe's like not understanding what's going on.
Yeah,
and I don't know if it's because I don't know if it's because he doesn't understand C-3PO and how special he is, or like what's actually at stake for C-3PO for whatever's going to happen to him. I don't know. Like so I'm that's why I'm wondering like what exactly is happening here, because it's just weird that Poe is
not understanding.
Not understanding what's going on.
That was kind of weird. You got a good point. I don't know. One other last thing I really want to bring up is this was probably the one scene that got me going, huh? Was when you see Rey and Kylo working together and they cut the statue thing that Vader's mask is sitting on in some white room.
Yeah.
What the F is that?
My what the F moment was when they're riding on the freaking ship. They're like on top of it. It was like...
Oh, that was weird, yeah.
I was like, what the freak? You have all these dogfights happening and you're running with animals on the ship on top of it. Like, that's kind of... That doesn't make any sense. I want to see how... That intrigued me, though. I want to see what made them think that was a good idea.
I don't know, dude. We have bombers that can bomb things in space with zero gravity, so I don't even know anymore. But anyway, this whole time I watch this film, I'm just going to think, why didn't you just hyperspace into other ships at this point with drones? But whatever. It makes me wonder, though, if they're cutting this... I want to go back to that Vader statue thing when they're chopping the thing that Vader's helmet's on. Why did they team up for this? And I wonder if it has a connection to Palpatine. Maybe he's using some kind of Force connection with this, or... this is a very weird scene, and it's also weird that they're working together. And the other thing is Kylo has his mask on during this scene, which is just a weird scene. Like, none of this I can even think of what the heck's going on. What the heck is this scene?
It doesn't... I don't know. Because the question is, like, where is this at? Is this in one of Kylo's ships that he has it in? Like... And the fighting that happens with Poe and Finn when they're running with Chewbacca and shooting down all the stormtroopers, like I'm wondering what's all happening here, because I don't know. There's just too many questions. There's not enough answers. There's not enough to give us a concrete answer or possible hint of what's going on here, because it just seems like they're throwing all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm confused. I want to know what's happening.
It's also weird. Why is it white? White usually doesn't indicate a bad place, you know? It just doesn't make sense, man. That's just the number one thing that's just really bugging me out of the whole trailer. I know it's weird, but I just don't understand what's going on with that scene. They're working together.
But it's weird that it's his mask on, because whenever I think of him having his mask on, I think of him acting as Kylo. Like, without it, it's kind of more Ben. Or...
Yeah, I get what you're saying, because he puts on that helmet to try and, like any Sith character, or not. I know he's not a Sith, but sorry. A lot of times, the dark Force wielders will usually wear a mask to try. A lot of them are like infused in a way to help them keep more into the dark side, right? It keeps them more, you know.
I think that for me, it's like a detachment. They're trying to detach themselves
from
anyone else. And but what's interesting is we haven't seen him put on his mask for I think in all of Last Jedi.
Yeah. And
he was more trying to talk to Rey, and so it's like, why would I try to get her on my side if I'm wearing my mask? And so he's trying to, which is funny, he's trying to, you know, appeal to her, and to have some sort of connection, which is the opposite of what most dark users would want. And so it looks like he's still trying to do that. So again, to your point, why at this particular point is he wearing his mask? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, here, actually, you know, when I go back to that, let me go back. Was he wearing, when he had it, was it? Yeah, it's all cracked and stuff. I didn't know if it's even further, like, fixed or anything like that. But it's weird, though, because I just noticed something, too. When they show Rey fighting Kylo on, like, the wreckage of the Death Star, you see Finn running, and I can read his lips, and he's screaming Rey. So he has to show up seeing her fight him. So I wonder what's going on with that. There's a lot of cool things. It's not giving away too much, which I like. You know, I don't want it to give away too much. And I feel that this is good enough. I don't think we need any more trailers after this. I think we got the idea of what they're going for here. One cool little nod is, dude, you gotta admit that freaking Palpatine's throne. Oh my gosh. I mean, it has to be Palpatine's throne. Who else is it? That just looks like...
Yeah.
It just like, I see Game of Thrones and I'm like, no, this is the freaking throne. That's freaking sick. That just is sick, dude. I got chills when I saw Palpatine's throne. It's like, that is badass.
I'm excited. So yeah, I mean, any last things before we close out?
Yes. We should make an honorable mention.
Honorable mention? Oh, today, you get the honors, Mouse.
Sure. So just for everybody, just so they know, it's our... it's everybody's princess's birthday today. Carrie Fisher would have been 63 today. So I believe Billy Lord was doing some big Instagram kind of memorial thing for her. And anyway, really, really cool. So just shout out to our favorite princess, Carrie Fisher. So it would be her 63rd birthday today. So we miss you, Carrie.
I miss you, Carrie. And she put so many years into this franchise, so hopefully this one ends it right. That's all we can hope for. Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, I guess that's kind of about it. I don't have anything else really to bring up.
Alright, sounds good then. Well, leave a comment, tell us what you thought about the trailer, if you really liked it, or what questions you had about it, so we can have some sort of discussion. So yeah, thanks for watching. This is David the Smash Fan.
This is Maz, your tech guy.
And this is Chibino Podcast.